Hey guys, first of all, I want to come on here and apologize for something I kind of made a mistake on in the last two videos where I talked about the romance in Yu-Gi-Oh, as well as before that, having a female lead protagonist. One of the characters I name dropped, I accidentally said their name. It's not in that character being Akiza. I called her Akuza. It's Akiza. Of course, she's the main female protagonist. From Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, basically the love interest of Yusei, or potential love interest, depending on how you look at it. And in both videos, I called her Akuza instead of Akiza. Akiza is her name in the English dub, or I think it's Aki in the Japanese OG, if you will. But yeah, I mispronounced that or missaid that. That's on me. I'm sure a lot of you are probably watching that thinking, why is he calling her Akuza instead of Akiza? It's Akiza. So that's on me, and I just wanted to address that before I get into this video. All right, so I want to make this a little not so long because the original version went a little longer than usual, and that was on me. But I want to come on here and talk about the whole copyright situation involving. I knew she was going. All right, sorry about that, but like I said, I wanted to talk about this whole copyright situation when it comes mostly to the channel YuGiOh Everything, run by Dylan. Now, it's not the only channel he has. He has one that I think is based around other anime. But I'm sure a lot of you that follow his channel realize that right now it seems his YuGiOh Everything channel is on the verge of, being history. In other words, it will no longer be around. Because of the fact that he has had a history with NAS, one of the distributors out of Japan, and mostly for Japan, coming after him. He even said that when he did successfully appeal a couple of strikes that got taken away, it wasn't that long after that NAS came after him and said, nope, here's a few more. And mainly it was due to some of his videos that were trilogy videos that he would talk about, like trilogy of, episodes, as well as I think some other things as well, but it was mostly like his trilogy videos. And the reason being is, as we probably see, watching his videos, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen this long before I started watching them, that it seems that he uses a lot of clips. Not very long clips, but just like 30 seconds or so, or 25 seconds or so, or something of clips, in his videos. And that's enough for NAS, I guess, to say, this ain't gonna fly, we're gonna strike you, or something like that. And I think he even said something along the lines that he talked about something. It was just him talking, and that's the kitchen timer going off telling me my soup's ready. But anyway, I think he even said that something happened to where it was just like a discussion or a podcast or whatever, and they went after that. And I think maybe the reason they went after that is because, from what I can tell, I haven't seen one of the podcasts, but from what I could tell, it seems like it's the kind that would show some imagery, some clips, if you will. And apparently, like I said, he's, gotten some of these successfully appealed and had the strikes taken away from him. But almost immediately, they've had, NAS would issue more strikes and claims on him. So now he's gotten to a point to where he's trying to appeal again. He's trying to keep his channel around, but it looks like it's on its last legs. So what happens now? Well, that's an interesting question. And this is why, as I've talked about before, as much as myself and others hate to admit it, when those out there decide to copyright claim and strike us, if you will, for content, even though we can appeal the strikes or the claims successfully, as much as we hate to admit it, they have a right to those copyright claims and to an extent those strikes. The reason being is because of the fact that, it's footage or, sound or whatever that you're using somewhat without the consent. So they feel like they should have something coming out of it. and some studios outside of the U.S., publishers outside of the U.S., stuff like that, feel that, hey, we're not going to let you have we're not going to let you have, this opportunity to utilize this stuff, so we're going to take it away from you. Like, hey, we're not even going basically it's like they're saying, hey, we're not going to share revenue with you, and heck, we're not even going to make sure nobody sees this. And they take it away. And, even though people like Dylan use, a lot of the clips and stuff for fair use, companies like NAS in Japan don't view it that way. They don't view it. So what happens when a lot of YouTubers, content creators, as one put it, get their channel torpedoed or at least nuclearized throughout its run? What do they end up doing? What's the solution? Well, for someone like me, I come up with the solution of having various backup channels, not just here on YouTube, like I have, I think two or three, but also having backup channels on places like Dailymotion and VENMO. And the reason being is because when you look at a place like Dailymotion and VENMO, even though they deal with the same kind of copyright situations, they're less restrictive. This is why you see people like Chris Moore, Rowdy C, the host of TV Trash, and why you see Bob Show, Rob Thomas and Raven Fox, with the Bob Show review show popping up on VENMO. This is why you see recently the long-haired creepy guy known for his retrospectives on X-Men and Scooby-Doo showing up on VENMO, because they realize that even though VENMO and even places like Dailymotion may deal with copyright situations, along with places like Google's OneDrive and BitChute and stuff, that it's less of an issue, it's a less restrictive issue than what you get with YouTube. Because with YouTube, it's a lot more different. It's a lot more trickier to maneuver around. And with these other places, it's a lot less harder to try to get, I'm assuming, copyright claims overturned. So when I look at someone like Dylan, and this is just my opinion, my suggestion to him, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, my suggestion to Dylan, basically, is to go to a place like VENMO, go to a place like Dailymotion, and recreate the YuGiOh Everything channel on one of those, and start putting some of the content from your YouTube channel over to there, and then make the announcement that, hey, I'm over here now if you want to continue viewing the content. That way, you could probably, if by some miracle, keep your YuGiOh Everything channel, but use it to mainly give people a trailer or maybe an on-screen video and saying, hey, I got my new video up over at VENMO, check it out there, really appreciate it, and that's it. End of story. And for most people that works out. I mean, yeah, they still keep their YouTube channels, there's no doubt. They still keep their YouTube channels, there's no doubt about that. But, they only use the YouTube channels to do things like live streams. Like one of the things Rowdy C does is he live streams reactions to like movies and stuff. But what he does is he puts earphones on and he just sits there and he drinks or eats, take notes, and that's it, and he reacts. That's all he does. He does that because it's safer to do it that way than trying to have something on screen, if you catch my drift. So my advice, suggestion to him is to try something like that, to look in a place like VENMO or Dailymotion to continue his channel. Another suggestion is to take a page out of Linkara's playbook. Linkara, of the top of the fourth wall, is known basically, as I put these here, is known basically for doing not just comic book reviews, but he's known basically for the history of Power Ranger series, and he's had to deal with copyright issues on several occasions. So what he does mainly, or what he has done, I should say mainly, is he's kind of fixed those issues. To to where he's redubbed some of the voiceovers, some of his voiceovers basically on the narration or discussion part. But he's also decided to replace certain clips, if you will, with images, and that's it. Or he just puts like a still image over where a clip would be and talks about something else that doesn't really relate to it, but he does it because of the fact that, yeah, it's the same show he's talking about, but he doesn't want to deal with copyright issues. He doesn't want to deal with a copyright claim or anything like that. So, he's kind of found a way around it to where he can keep it up there. He can keep his History of Power Rangers series up there, but he does it in a way to where it's not going to, get him struck down or claimed or anything like that. And it seemingly has worked out fine for him. And others have done this too. Others that have done these kind of things, history, retrospectives, whatever, and want to maintain them being on YouTube, have pretty much done, they've pretty much done the same thing. They've done the same thing, and it's worked out. Basically, they still are able to monetize and everything, and they show that, hey, it's in fair use, and oh, look, I'm just using images mostly and not clips that much. And it works. It's a success for them. And I think that's great. I think that's a great move. So, to me, another suggestion is to take a page out of Linkara's playbook. Just go and say, hey, I'm going to redo some of these videos. I'm just going to use clips. Well, not clips, but images. I'm just going to use images and everything. And where a clip would be, I'm just going to put an image over, and there you go. And if you just use images, they can't really, do anything against you because you're not totally you're not basically infringing on their copyright as they would see it, I should say. So that would be another suggestion. That would be another suggestion to basically go that route. One more suggestion is maybe create a third channel, which you could call the YE2, which would be short for YuGiOh Everything 2. And by doing so, you could basically say, hey, this is going to be identical to the other one, but the difference is any videos that I put on there that were struck or claimed will be, kind of edited to a point to where that doesn't happen anymore. And there you go. And at the same time, if you still want to do a VENMO channel with the original versions, just, you could do that and use your new channel as well as your original channel to say, hey, if you want the original versions as they were first seen, go here. And there you go. And that's mainly the solution. That's mainly the solution to a lot of these issues. That, either you create a new channel where you re-upload your content from your original one, but you do it in a way to where if some of the videos you're going to re-upload are pretty much edited, changed up, like what Linkara does with History of Power Rangers, or you go the route of finding another uploading site like VENMO or Dailymotion and, just uploading your content there because there's less restrictions when it comes to copyright. Those are the best solutions, in my opinion. And again, I'm somebody that's gone and created, a Dailymotion channel. I've gone and created a VENMO channel along with backup channels here on the YT, just in case this channel ever faces any uncertainty in the future. And that's about it. And it works. It's secure. Basically, it's a secure situation to make sure that if, you don't lose any content that you've worked too hard on and stuff like that. But anyway, though, guys, when I look at the situation with Google and YouTube, when I hear what Dylan says sometimes and others have said in a similar situation, it sounds like people like Dylan and others that have been in a similar situation put more of the blame on those that are claiming their videos or striking their videos than they put on YouTube, because they know that in recent years, as much as we hate to admit it, YouTube and Google have been trying their best to rectify some of the mistakes they've made, with some of the decisions they've made to make YouTube, to make them, mostly YouTube, as appealing as it once was when it first started to an extent, from what I can tell. And again, like I said, from what I could see and hear, Dylan's putting more of the blame on NAS than he is on YouTube and Google, because at least, he's trying to get them to, and it sounds like they want him, in exchange, they want him to have his channel, and they're trying to work with him and making it happen, or something like that. But anyway, though, guys, I just wanted to come on here and give you my thoughts on the whole situation, as well as give us a few suggestions to Dylan and those like Dylan that are in a similar situation of what to do if you want to keep your content going from your main channel. And yeah, that's about it. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are, though, on what's going on with Dylan from YuGiOh Everything. How do you feel about it? Comment down below, live chat during the premiere. Like the video. Check me out at my Teespring store. Check me out at BW Roses Discussions, all your favorite podcast locations except for Pandora. Also check me out at VENMO at BW Roses. Also check me out at patreon.com/BW Roses to support me at $1 or $3 tier. Also check me out at Venmo at Brian-Walmer-2. But let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your thoughts are, because it seems when you have one channel that is focused on one thing, that seems to always make you a bigger target. But sometimes you can always get that target off your bat by going in other directions or successfully appealing, which he has done. But as I said, it seems like the NES would come back and give him another strike. But again, let me know what your thoughts are on this whole thing, and I will talk to y'all later. But again, Dylan, if you are watching, my suggestion, create some backup channels, move some of your content to your anime channel, and also create some backup channels on different sites like Vimeo and Dailymotion, just in case. But again, let me know what your all thoughts are, and I will talk to you all later.